GCSE Poetry, Love and Relationships, Follower and Poems to Compare It to. So I just want to say a quick thank you to the physics and maths teacher for allowing me access to their annotated poem and being able to use it in my video. They have free resources which are amazing for poetry, English, physics and maths, so make sure you check out the link in the description. My father worked with a horse plough. His shoulders globed like a full sail strung. Between the shafts and the furrow, the horse strained at his clicking tongue. An expert, he would set the wing and fit the bright steel pointed sock. The sod rolled over without breaking, at the heading with a single pluck. Of reins the sweating team turned round and back into the land. His eye narrowed and angled at the ground, mapping the furrow exactly. I stumbled in his hobnailed wake, fell sometimes on the polished sod. Sometimes he rode me on his back, dipping and rising to his plod. So this poem is about a father-son relationship, and it instantly sets up the focus of the poem onto his father within the very first line, where it says, "My father." Then they say, with a horse plough. Now, by mentioning the horse plough, the readers are introduced to the farming environment in which the poem was set in and in which the poet's childhood was set in. His shoulders globed like a full sail strung. Now, Heaney compares his father's shoulders to a sail on a boat or ship, which emphasizes how much power he has and how much strength he has. The sibilance of shoulders and sail suggests the father works very smoothly and deliberately. The father appears larger than life to his son. In the second verse, it says, "The sod rolled over without breaking." This establishes his father's aptitude for and experience with farming, to emphasize his own feelings of displacement in the farm environment when trying to establish his own identity. So there's clearly a power imbalance present here. His father's this massive man who's got the power of a sail, and this timid little boy is just trying to follow in his father's footsteps. Now, it shows, when it says "fell sometimes on the polished sod" in the final verse, it shows how much Heaney is struggling to mould an identity when he cannot follow the same path as his father. Fell contrasts with the polished adjective, and is used to describe his father's work, which indirectly compares the father to the son. He says, "Sometimes he rode me on his back." This unusual phrasing of "rode me" suggests that Heaney is remaining a passive character in this relationship, and it contrasts to the father, who plays a very active role in the relationship and in farming. Now let's look at the other part of the poem. "I wanted to grow up and plough, to close one eye, stiffen my arm. All I ever did was follow, in his broad shadow, round the farm. I was a nuisance, tripping, falling, yapping always. But today, it is my father who keeps stumbling behind me and will not go away." So now you can clearly see a role reversal here. That's why I didn't show you this part of the poem till afterwards. It's presenting his father as a weaker member and how there's a sort of cyclicity in being a father and a son. The repetition of the word stumbling, since it was used in the beginning of the poem, but being affixed to his father, highlights a cyclical form of the poem and the role reversal that's taken place. Yapping always is a transposed sentence. This would make more sense if it said always yapping, but the incorrect grammar could either display the traditional dialect or how the boy's admiration is all-consuming for his father. And it could also represent the role reversal, sort of like the word reversal. Now let's have a look a little bit at the poet context. So the poet's name is SEAMUS HEANEY, and he was born in 1939 and died sadly in 2013. He heralds from a rigid farming community and was born in Northern Ireland. He was the eldest of 9 children, which meant he had a lot of pressure to conform to the farming expectation of the environment he had lived in. This gives you a bit of an idea about the background of the poem. Now I'm going to talk about structure and form essay points that you should probably include, and then I'll move on to language. So first of all, it's a cyclical narrative, which demonstrates the strong paternal bond that is eternal in the cycle of life. The stable rhythmic pattern, which is 8 syllables long, and iambic tetrameter for inconsistent rhythm. Now, the lack of a consistent rhythm suggests an incomplete aspect to the paternal relationship, a sort of imbalance which is made visible through the father's strength and his weakness in the beginning. Point 3. It's structured in quatrains of 4 lines ordered in ABAB rhyme scheme. Each stanza has one perfect rhyme and one slant rhyme or one half rhyme, where the words don't fully rhyme but have a similar sound. Now, the effect of this is to mirror the feeling that Heaney has that he will never live up to his father's expectation. He'll sort of half live up and will never live up to the aptitudes of farming work. Now let's look at the language essay points. So consonants is used here, and Heaney employs a lot of consonants, such as the K sound in the sock, pluck, clicking. This can be used to try and replicate the hard nature of the work his father is completing. It sort of mimics the farming work that they're doing. It also provides a sturdy rhythm to the poem to contrast and emphasize the changes the father-son relationship undergoes as the poem concludes. Similes are also used to compare his father to a sail in the line, his shoulders globed like a full sail strung. However, as the poem progresses, his comparisons become more and more concrete, but also grounded in reality, because it became narrowed and angled at the ground. So his comparisons are becoming more and more accurate, which almost depicts how his amazement of his father's work decreases ever so slowly. Also, the semantic field of admiration, which is present, is an important theme in this poem and holds great thematic weight. And through his depiction of his dad as an expert who was completing his work exactly, he highlights how much of an admiration his father was to him. Here are 2 poems to compare it to, so Mother Any Distance and Eden Rock. So Follower and Mother Any Distance, both poems are from the perspective of a child who is expressing their admiration for their respective parents. They both extensively employ metaphors to symbolize different aspects of the parental-child bond. However, in Mother Any Distance, the son is attempting to distance himself. However, the father-son relationship in Follower remains bonded. However, that can be argued. In Mother Any Distance, he manipulates the sonnet form, which is typical of love poetry, which suggests a love for the father. Enjambment is used in both poems. However, in Mother Any Distance, it's used to show the breaking of the paternal bond, whereas in Follower, it contrasts with the stable, unbroken familial bond, which could go to highlight the role reversal. Now, comparing Follower to Eden Rock, in both poems, an undeniable admiration for the speaker's parents is a key theme, and both poems are written from the perspectives of a male child reflecting on the memories. While Eden Rock focuses on a speaker mulling over a specific childhood memory, Follower explores the speaker's relationship during his entire childhood in general. Now, I definitely recommend you take notes of these as they're really valuable poems to compare to. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe, and for more advice, follow me at No Waffle GCSE. Thank you for watching and see you soon.